Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before I start the video, I wanted to ask a simple question. We all grew up with children's books. We all had our favorite children's book growing up, or for those that have, kids and stuff, grandkids, nieces, nephews, that you might spend time reading to them, when they're little and stuff, or kids, or you always, like fictional books as a young teen, a young adult, and stuff. I want to ask, when have you seen a character in a fictional book or a kid's book that has a disability? I mean, I don't think we have like a lot. So this article that I found is gonna be taking a glimpse on, having somebody having a character in a book that represents the disabled community, especially the muscular dystrophy community. So I'm gonna dive into that. I never really thought about it and stuff about this, and it was made last year, September 9th, 2024. Let's see what it says. Thornton Blias wants to live in a world where horses and dragons roam free and everyone can reach their fullest potential. He lives with myotonic muscular dystrophy and resides in Stuartville, New Jersey. Thornton graduated from Sarah Lawrence College and earned an MFA in writing for children and young adults from New York School. He is represented by Joyce Swings of the Seymour Agency, writing and illustrating children's book. Children's book is one of the hardest professions I could have chosen, he says. Only I did not choose this career path chose me. It is a passion that could not be denied, he says. And it says, I have always loved words and pictures when I was 4. He says, I started dictating poems and stories by age 5. I had already decided to become a writer. He says, I attended Sarah Lawrence College, a well known college for writing creativity. And after attending my first writing conference offered by SCBWI, Social Children Writer and Illustration. During my junior year, he says, college, I knew I wanted to write books for kids. After that, I attended a new school and garnered an MFA in writing for children and young adults, he says. And he also says, children literacy is probably the most authentic expression of humanity. It is a place where we can create unlimited ideas, improve the world. Children should have access to literature that refines their identity. It is well known that children's books are minors and what youth often identify with the character found in the story they read. All children prefer to merge as character with similar feeling and expression. Books also serve as opportunity to learn about the world beyond their family and local community. These children's stories are powerful vehicles for self-approval and promoting empathy and acceptance of one another's differences. Therefore, children's literature must be inclusive. It needs to have device character, including character with disability. It's important to include characters with disability in children's books, and they need to be portrayed in a positive, accurate, and realistic manner. Misrepresentation is determined to the self-esteem of those who may identify with the character and prepossess stereotypes and insist both sides of the same coin and the one looking glass itself. The looking glass itself is a psychology concept inducted in the early 1990s by Charles Horton. Cooley agreed that humans develop their self-concept and identify through their expression with the concept of society. We understand ourselves throughout the lens of others' perceptions. The looking glass self-developed at an early age, therefore, since social judgment is important to self-judgment and self-esteem. The appearance of positive character with disability in children literature is critical. He says, reflecting on the books that I read and enjoyed as a child, I realized that I never saw kids in those books who represented me. Exactly, that's what I was. That's how I started. That's why I asked that question. When have you seen a children's book have someone with disabilities and stuff? Disability seems to be erased from children or characters in their world. Therefore, my goal is to make sure muscular dystrophy, gender, and myotonic dystrophy is particularly are represented. Authors are wrestling for handling sensitive topics for children, but including disability. Those that don't mean this does not mean authors should avoid sensitive topics, but they should be presented possibly with equality as is Bacon. Children live in the world, and is a need for quality books of each of the world. Recently, there has been focus on protecting individuals with disability. However, despite the many in, in intents to make children book more diverse, instead of our only featuring able-bodied characters, disability representation is not common in children's books, and it's even rare to find those written by writers with a disability. Only 3.4 of children's books have main characters with a disability, very little percentage, while almost 30% of society lives with a disability. It's crazy to think that 30% in children's book characters, 3.4%, while almost 30, I mean, it's a reality. Kids see people with disability everywhere. If you think about kids that don't have a disability, you see people with disability everywhere, and it's crazy that they don't have them in books. It's like it's not something. Obviously, it's not a fantasy that only in books you see people with disability. Only in books people with disability come are there. They're everywhere, not just in books. It's not like a fantasy. So hopefully that changes in the next few years. The writers best able to write intensely on the subject are those who live with a disability, which is one of the reasons he says I focus on characters with disability in my picture books. He said chapter book, middle grade books, and graphic novels. He said intensity is one of the hardest components of writing. It is the hardest factor for those writing for children, even more than adults. Kids see through a story written about intensity. As an adult writing for children and harvest memory and feeling of, but understanding them and putting them on paper tasks many different approaches. He says, I worry that words that seem right might not resonate with younger audience. He said, he said, with many possibilities of what and how to write my memories and impression into a fictional word, he said, I have to consider which approach, which word, and which sentence is the best approach. He said, to build a frictions word, and I have to ask myself, what is the best way to weigh a creative task perspective for others to understand while also focusing authenticity and inclusion. While difficult writing gives meaning to my life, he says, it helps me understand our often difficult world. Even when I was young, he said, it was true. This was true. Before I could put a pen to paper, I had to get my story and point out of my head, he says. It was a catastrophe thus I would write, even if it wasn't my profession. He says, writing helped me comprehend our world. He said, I'm convinced that reading books more than any other form of community helps kids understand what is happening around them. He says, children literature is often perceived as simple and entertaining. How books for children are meaningful outlets that reflect society and cultural norms. He says, they are powerful tools that shape new ideas and become an avenue for exploring this diversity. He says, my passion is crafting an intriguing story about characters who have exciting adventure who also have to have disabilities. Wow. Like I never really thought about that in the past, that there people who have a disability like myself were not represented at all in children's book, in novels and chapter books. We're not portrayed. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we are portrayed in movies, but they always use an actor who doesn't have a disability to play someone who does have a disability. Feel like that doesn't, for me, it's not portraying someone with a disability because you are not there. You just go off a script that director gave you, and stuff like that. But it would be more authentic if they use like actors when they're going to talk about disability actors who have that disability. It'll be more authentic. That's my opinion. But anyway, what are your guys' thoughts after hearing this? Leave your guys' comments down below. And that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification button. Until next time.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride.